It's been another busy week at the White House. For the latest on American politics, we're talking with our regular US political analyst and former White House staffer, Professor Ed Blakely. Ed, welcome.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
So,
I'm glad we were talking about underwater.
Underwater.
Because I think the White House is definitely underwater.
Well, I was going to say revolving door. It's spinning ever more so at the moment with the number of departures. So let's start with the big one this past week. Now, you've been saying this for quite some time, that Rex Tillerson was on his way out. I think you were saying at the end of last year. Perhaps you're surprised it's taken so long.
I am. As a matter of fact, I thought he had come back, particularly with North Korea and some other events. But he was running his own shop, his own show. He was not coordinating with the president. And now North Korea's come up, and the president wants to take credit for that. He doesn't want Tillerson anywhere around it, because if Tillerson were there, he'd get a reprieve for a longer period. The president's in an interesting position. He has so many things that are dogging him now. He has to worry about the Mueller investigation. He has to worry about these elections. He has to worry about the U.S. image. He has to worry about the Russians. And he wants his team to be on side to take some of those worries away. But what he's done is he's made it worse.
When President Trump spoke, he said that he didn't really mention the meeting with North Korea's leader to Rex Tillerson. I mean, is that quite remarkable that that wouldn't be mentioned to the Secretary of State?
Absolutely. But because Tillerson had been doing a lot of behind-door stuff. That's how this meeting occurred. But he did not want him there. There is no ambassador to South Korea. There are no troops in hand in the State Department to handle these negotiations. Is he just going to rock up there on the day and make something up, as he did with Trudeau? My God.
And of course, so much speculation in Washington at the moment about who's next, because we talk about that revolving door. And one name mentioned is the National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster.
Yeah, McMaster is gone. And he really went when he said there was incontrovertible evidence that the Russians had meddled in the U.S. elections. He sealed his coffin there. But he has not been comfortable with the president, and the president's not been comfortable with him. Dealing with him is a difficult problem because he is, I believe, a 4-star general. He's well liked in the military and defense, at CIA, and all the agencies. So he wants a soft landing. But the fact this has lingered, now Tillerson's out, McMaster's out, and McCabe, I'll begin with M. But I think there's real danger lurking here for the president when these people come together and go through their back channels to deal with the consequences of their being let go. This is very dangerous. These are not people who are unknown, who don't have their own resources, and don't have their own capacities to make things very difficult for Donald Trump.
Isn't this about Donald Trump crafting his team? I mean, with Rex Tillerson, he referred to Donald Trump as a moron. That's not really sustainable to have someone in your inner circle doing that. And with Mike Pompeo, the replacement for Tillerson, he is a very close ally with Donald Trump, and they have a lot of similarities. So isn't this about crafting a team that's close to the president?
Yes, it is. But when you run a business, you want to have the best people in place and take advice from them so you look good. He's getting people who say yes to him. That is very dangerous in anything, even in a family. So what he's doing is, as we say in the States, he's surrounding the wagons because he knows the storm is coming, and he wants to make sure when he battens things down, the people on the inside are on his side.
But the person that he put in the middle there, of those wagons that have been circled, if you like, was the Chief of Staff, John Kelly. He was the person that was meant to bring stability to a chaotic White House. Also rumoured that he may be on the way out as well.
Yes, and my sources tell me the White House is really, well, not divided, and splintered in factions. Kelly has a faction in the White House. McMaster has a faction in the White House. The vice president, these people don't even speak to one another. They don't even go to lunch together. So this is a very dangerous situation because Kelly no longer is in charge of anything except entrance to the Oval Office. No more than that. And that's why this young man was fired. He defied Kelly, so Kelly fired him on the spot. Where did he end up? In the Trump organization on the outside. It shows you just how factionalized that is.
And how relationships can break down, because of course Steve Bannon and the president used to be quite close, and that relationship certainly broken down.
Steve Bannon, though, has another thing in mind. He really wants to stay in politics. So he's searching for another day when he can come back with those troops that Trump now has. He sees Trump's days as over, no matter what happens. And the recent elections this week are proof of that.
And as you say, Donald Trump has several spot fires that he's trying to deal with at the moment, certainly the ongoing Russia investigation. Also, personally, there are these allegations by the porn star Stormy Daniels about their previous relationship. He has now gone on the attack, looking to, in fact, sue her.
Just think, a few weeks ago, he didn't know her. That pseudonym, all that kind of stuff is disappearing, and his name is on the documents of the suit. Why is he trying to sue her in federal court? Because it'll take 3 to 4 years to get the case into a courtroom. And before that, there's a chance for private arbitration. Moreover, he might bankrupt the lawyers on her side. So these are all tricks.
But doesn't that just draw out these grubby allegations, or does he care?
He does care. And he's going to do everything he can to silence her by embarrassing her and running her out of money and getting her out of town. I don't think it'll work, because I will bet that she will start collecting money from women who have been disaffected by this administration, abused, etc., saying, here is our new heroine.
Does he care because this is resonating with voters, and in particular with women?
Oh, he does care. The middle-class women who are in the suburbs are really feeling very nervous about this. They want him out. This is not the image your children should be seeing. This is not the kind of manhood you want around. So he does care about this, and his advisors care.
And yet this comes at a time perhaps when he's feeling more emboldened than he ever has been sitting in the White House, because he's got through the tariffs, and also he seems to have made progress with North Korea.
Yes. He may think of those as victories for the moment, and he does think in the moment. But in the long term, you have to have people behind you when you go out for an election. None of these things resonate with the American people. American people are not into foreign affairs. North Korea, yeah. The tax, we saw in this election. Lamb won running against that tax hike. So what are the Democrats going to do? They're not going to be Democrats. They're just going to be nice people, the guy next door, the woman next door, a person I can trust. This man's damaged his own reputation. He's damaged the reputation of the presidency.
But if something like North Korea does resonate with the American people, I mean, that is a victory to get the US president sitting down with the North Korean leader.
No, there is no active war going on.
But there's certainly threats and heated language, and the fact that that's been scaled back, or at least the situation seems to have calmed down, and they're sitting to get down together and talking, that's a significant victory.
It is. But I'll bet in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs will have more space in the newspaper than that, because there is no fighting going. No American men or women are being killed. That's what Americans care about. Most Americans will have a hard time finding Korea on a map.
Ed Blakely, good to talk to you.
Good to see you, Ed.